Hi folks, out for a run again today, although you probably see me walking more than you do running. Quite difficult to film when you're running, but give it a go anyway. Very wet today, wet underfoot anyway. We've had so much rain over the last week or so, floods everywhere, but just keeps it nice and soft underfoot. Stops me from getting injuries. I'd like to film this one from the Peak District Kinder Scout, but due to lockdown we can't travel, so staying in Suffolk. Tracks, trails, lanes, they all come from drovers' roads. When the drovers had to take their wares to market, some of the drovers drove their animals all the way to London from Suffolk, and I suppose all from all over the country really. So give a thought for them drovers who gave us our footpaths, bridle paths, lanes, rights of way. Because if they hadn't walked them, we wouldn't have had the roads today. Also, give a thought for them when you're running a 50 miler or even a marathon, because they drove cattle, sheep, even geese and everything from the farms all the way up to London. That's where a few inns got their names, like the Woolpack and Blue Boar, things like that. These are places probably where the more wealthier drovers would stay, but others had to stay with their animals and drink from the same water source as their animals. When you're running a marathon or a trail run, you take your water with you, have snacks on the way, which they probably had: loaf of bread and cheese. No Garmin, no smartwatches, no smartphones, just knowledge passed down hand by hand. So I was told, my granddad used to drove his horse, I think he's worked with shires, and he used to take a foal to market. He lived in Bourton Pogs, which I think was in Gloucestershire / Oxfordshire, and he used to take his horse to market, which was in Stolno Wold. 2-day journey. Well, I think it's 2 days there and 2 days back. You can do it in sort of, I don't know, half an hour in the car now. So take the foal to the market, and then on his way back he'll stop in the Traveller's Lodge. Can't remember where that is. Sort of it's anyway on the Stowe Road between Stowe and Burford, I think. And he'd spend overnight there, and I think that's his only day off. Crazy, isn't it? Different world, different life. How things have changed. I love little stories like that. There's this lad. There's this lad from Manchester, Benny Rothman, in 1932, who worked hard all week and liked to spend his weekends or his Sundays in the hills or mountains. So he decided with some friends to go up to Kinder Scout. I think there was just sort of under 400 of them, or 500 of them. I think it's under 400 of them, and they decided to ascend on Kinder Scout. Started in the quarry, walked up, and then they were met by gamekeepers and police. Incidentally, I should say that the police were planning to arrest him at the train station when he arrived at Kinder, but he'd cycled, so he evaded the arrest, so got away with that one until a bit later. Anyway, he did get arrested. I think the landowners wanted to arrest him for some sort of damage or something, because trespass wasn't illegal. Trespass wasn't illegal in them days, 1932. So they made up some excuse to arrest him, and then he was jailed, I think for anywhere. Well, there's 4 of them or 5 of them, and they were arrested, and they had sentences between 2 to 5 months or 2 to 6 months. And this incensed everybody who liked getting out in the country, and they all went on a mass protest, mass march into the country onto, I think that was Kinder Scout again, may not have been, not sure. And this gave birth to the countryside right away, and that's why we're all allowed to have the right to roam on the uncultivated land, because of Benny Rothman and his pals. Also give birth to the ramblers, I think, and I think that's why we all should give them a bit of tribute. Anybody who runs, anybody who walks, anybody who loves the outdoors, and go into different areas. I mean, in Suffolk we got Thetford Forest, which is uncultivated land, so there's right to roam through there, owned by the Forestry Commission. We got loads of spaces in this country to roam, and yet you don't see anybody out until the lockdown. I suppose Benny Rothman wasn't too dissimilar to a lot of people. Worked hard all week, wanted a rest at the weekend. I suppose there's a lot of similarities between all working people. Spend a lot of time their week at work, and then wanting to spend that free time doing something they want to do and enjoy.
We can sit together. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, Benny was key to the mass protests, especially the second ones. People were really incensed. Now, 1,000 people, that's a lot back in the day, because no social media, all they had was newspapers to tell them about this, or word of mouth. And I think people come up from London. That's a long journey back in them days. I mean, what was it from London now? 3 hours drive, maybe more. But yeah, he was key to opening national parks, opening up all the uncultivated land. I think Scotland laws are different. I think you're allowed to roam pretty much anywhere in the mountains in Scotland. You can also camp up there as well, wild camp. Whereas I don't think you really got permission to wild camp on land in England. I'm not 100% sure about Wales, but people do anyway. I think it's tolerated as long as you don't do any damage. And that gets back to sort of throwing litter and leaving your rubbish behind. Just need to check all the time. Make sure you're not dropping stuff by accident as well. And if you are walking and you see litter, just if it's just like a packet or a Coke can, just pick it up. If everybody done it, places would be so much cleaner, so much tidier. We can't keep leaving it to other people. Rant over anyway. The ramblers at the moment are trying to log all the footpaths that ancient byways, ancient footpaths that are not used, or tracks that have sort of since moved. If you know of any local tracks in your areas or anything, just let the ramblers know and they'll register them, or else we could lose them. I think it's in 2023 or might be 2026, but I think it's 2023. But we all need to sort of try and save all our ways and our footpaths and our tracks and trails, particularly if you're a long distance runner as well. You probably cover a lot more ground than a lot of other people. When if you're out like me today, there's just hardly anybody out. There might be, but they might just be hiding in the bushes. Anyway, yeah, get on it and try and register more. There's so much out there that needs logging, and what with the lockdown and people exercising and everything, there's so many more people wanting to use these footpaths, tracks and trails. Yeah, we can all do a bit.
Forever free.
This here,
Meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
this here is a grundle. There's a half-mile holloway, the footpath running through it, down through there, and they've moved the footpath up to the top here, so when it floods you can actually still walk it. But grundle, I think it comes from the old English or Saxon word grendel. Grendel was the monster in Beowulf, and it used to come from the deep and take souls. And I should imagine at some point why they called it a grundle is because it floods, and there may have been people who drowned in it. So I should imagine that's the reason they called it a grundle, or it was called grendel, because it took people's souls. Anyway, I'm probably going to come up into the wind now, but we're taking a little bit of a look at it. I'm going to sort of do part of it because it's going to be flooded, so I won't be able to do it all. In the summer you can walk it, but in the winter you have to stay up on the high bank. So we're talking about holloways. Probably the most famous holloway is probably the Ridgeway that runs from Ivanhoe to Avebury, or Avebury to Ivanhoe. They do an ultra along there. But that used to be a drover's road as well, so as would this have been, they would have drove animals down through here to get to market. The reason they would have used holloways is probably, well, they would have been paths, but then they would have worn over time, and I suppose there were people who used to maintain them as well. But holloways was a natural way of keeping animals together, stopping them from wandering off. It doesn't look too flooded today, but I don't fancy running down in there today. It will be flooded at the other end. I think grundle was only used in Suffolk. I've never heard the word anywhere else. If you have, let me know. I've seen two in Suffolk. There's something about it though, seems quite I suppose mystic. No, slippery, what you could call it, and wet. There we see it, but that's really deep down there. they put that barrier in, that dam in, to stop it from flooding further down. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, share it, and I'll keep on doing them, keep on making them. Getting more and more views all the time, so people must be interested. Yeah, I'm enjoying it anyway. So slows me down on my runs, on my long runs. Sure, it's better for me, don't pick up the injuries. Anyway, catch you again soon. Take care, bye.